Unlocking Your True Value, a Stoic's Guide to Relationships. In a world saturated with fleeting words and superficial connections, the question arises, can true value be demonstrated without uttering a single word? Can we discern the worth and intentions of others beyond their pronouncements? Stoicism, the ancient philosophy rooted in virtue and reason, answers with a resounding yes. Far from advocating for emotional suppression, Stoicism illuminates the path to self-worth, resilience, and empowering relationships by prioritizing action over empty rhetoric. While many self-help gurus may spout platitudes about self-love, Stoicism offers a practical, time-tested framework for understanding and embodying your inherent value, not just for your own benefit, but to profoundly impact how others perceive and treat you. This journey of personal transformation transcends mere self-esteem. It's about becoming an example, a beacon of integrity in a world often lacking substance. This exploration isn't about conventional relationship advice. It delves into the raw, sometimes uncomfortable truths that Stoicism unveils, challenging you to prioritize self-respect and authentic connection over fleeting validation. Prepare to embark on a journey that may seem rude or cruel at times, but ultimately leads to a more fulfilling, respectful, and empowering love life, guided by the principles of Stoic wisdom. By understanding and implementing these Stoic strategies, you'll not only discover your intrinsic value, but also cultivate relationships built on genuine respect and mutual understanding. This starts from the first and most crucial step. The cornerstone of Stoic relationship wisdom is knowing your value. This isn't about superficial affirmations or empty self-praise. It's about anchoring your self-worth in something far more resilient than external validation. Stoicism emphasizes focusing on what you can control, and your self-esteem falls squarely within that domain. It's not about the number of likes you receive on social media, but about how you perceive and value yourself independent of external opinions. Picture yourself as a gemstone, rare, unique, and inherently valuable. Not everyone will recognize its worth. Some may overlook it entirely, failing to appreciate its brilliance. However, that doesn't diminish the gem's intrinsic value. It remains valuable, rare, and unique regardless of whether others acknowledge it. This is a reflection of your true self, genuine, unique, and valuable. Your worth doesn't diminish simply because someone else fails to see it. Rejection is an inevitable part of life, and the feeling of not being good enough can be particularly acute in our hyperconnected world, where curated images of perfect lives abound. Stoicism reminds us that our value isn't tied to another person's approval, but to how we live our lives, the virtues we embody, and the actions we take. Are you kind? Are you honest? Are you living in a way that makes you proud? These are the pillars upon which your true value rests. Stoics were ardent advocates of self-reflection. Take a moment to contemplate your qualities, not just superficial attributes, but the deepest values that define you. What makes you feel good about yourself? Are you compassionate, resilient, or a great listener? These are the qualities that contribute to your inherent worth. When you truly internalize this understanding, it transforms the way you interact in relationships. You won't tolerate disrespect or mistreatment, not out of arrogance, but because you deeply respect yourself too much to allow it. Here's a Stoic exercise. The next time you feel undervalued, resist the urge to spiral into self-doubt. Instead, consciously acknowledge your strengths and values. This isn't about boastfulness. It's about silently affirming that you are worthy, irrespective of external validation. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher-emperor, wisely stated, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. When it comes to relationships, this translates to finding strength in your own worth, whether or not anyone else recognizes it. Remember, your value isn't a static, one-time realization. It's a continuous journey, a practice that you cultivate daily. It's about waking up each day and reminding yourself that you are valuable, not because of what someone else thinks, but because of who you are at your core. Understanding your value is also about challenging conventional notions of self-worth that are often imposed by society. It's about questioning the idea that your value is tied to your physical appearance, your career success, or your relationship status. Stoicism encourages you to define your own standards of worth based on your virtues, your actions, and your contributions to the world. This requires a deep understanding of yourself, your strengths, and your weaknesses. It requires a willingness to be honest with yourself, even when it's uncomfortable. Building upon this foundation of self-knowledge, the next step is to present yourself with dignity. Before envisioning a Stoic as a stern, emotionless figure, understand that Stoicism isn't about repressing emotions or being indifferent. It's about discerning what is worthy of your energy and what is not. The way you present yourself deserves your energy. Presenting yourself with dignity in relationships means avoiding the trap of trying too hard to impress someone, a trap that often leads to losing yourself in the process. Dressing a certain way, talking a certain way, all to gain approval. This is where Stoic wisdom provides guidance. Your dignity isn't found in the clothes you wear or the trendy places you frequent. It's rooted in your behavior, your actions, and your choices. Picture two individuals on a date at a coffee shop. One is overtly flashy, trying to impress, while the other is comfortable and confident in their own skin. Which one will leave a more lasting impression? The genuine one. That's the power of presenting yourself with dignity. Stoics strive to live with integrity and self-respect. In the modern dating world, this translates to a simple principle. If you're passionate about something, own it and let shine. It's not about pretending to be someone you're not. It's about feeling comfortable and confident in your own skin, knowing that you are worthy just as you are. Treat yourself with respect. The way you treat yourself sets the standard for how others will treat you. You're sending a message to the world about what is acceptable. If you respect yourself, if you value your time, your energy, and your emotions, you will send a clear message. I am worthy of respect, and I expect to be treated as such. As Epictetus, another prominent Stoic philosopher, said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." In the context of relationships, this means it's not just about how you look or what you say. It's about how you react and behave in different situations. Are you reacting with despair or dignity? Are you compromising your values to fit in? Or do you stand your ground, even if it means being alone? This doesn't mean striving for perfection. We are all human. We make mistakes, and we have awkward moments. It's about how you handle those moments. Do you crumble under pressure, or do you keep your head up and learn from it? Take a moment to consider how to begin presenting yourself with more dignity. Perhaps it's about setting boundaries or saying no to things that don't align with your values. Maybe it's as simple as treating yourself and others with more kindness and respect. When you begin to see yourself as someone worthy of respect, the world starts to see it too. Presenting yourself with dignity also involves cultivating self-awareness and emotional intelligence. It's about understanding your own triggers, managing your emotions effectively, and communicating your needs and boundaries clearly and assertively. It's about being authentic and transparent in your interactions, without being overly revealing or vulnerable. It's about being confident in your own skin, without being arrogant or condescending. Following from understanding your value and expressing it with dignity is the critical skill of limiting access. This isn't about manipulative games or playing hard to get. It's about self-respect and understanding your inherent worth. Stoicism teaches us the art of self-discipline and control, not in a rigid, joyless way, but as a means of knowing what is truly valuable and not giving it away carelessly. In a world of instant gratification, this principle provides a breath of fresh air. In relationships, especially in the early stages of dating, there's often a rush to share everything: time, space, and innermost thoughts. The Stoics would advise taking a step back. Something that is readily available often loses its value. It's human nature. If you're always available at a moment's notice, always saying yes to everything, where's the mystery, the depth, the anticipation? Limiting access in a dignified, Stoic way begins with how you present yourself. Dress elegantly, but modestly. This isn't just about fashion. It's a statement of intent that says, I value myself. You're not hiding, but you're not showing off everything either. There's a balance, a feeling that I am more than what meets the eye. Your time and attention are also valuable. In a hyper-connected world, being selective about who gets your time is a powerful statement. It's not about playing games. It's about saying, my time is valuable, and I choose to spend it wisely. When you are with someone, be completely present and engaged. But when you're not, feel good about not being available because you're focused on your own life, your passions, and your growth. Stoicism also emphasizes emotional self-control. This doesn't mean becoming cold or detached. It means not letting every little thing affect you deeply, maintaining a certain inner calm. You don't give away your emotional energy to just anyone. They have to earn it, just as they have to earn your time and attention. Limiting access isn't about becoming a Stoic statue. We are all human, and connection is what makes life rich. But there's beauty in taking things slow, in building a connection that isn't just based on instant access and immediate gratification. It's about building something that has depth and that lasts. Remember, limiting access isn't about manipulation or playing games. It's about self-respect and aligning with your own values. It's about showing, not just through words, but through actions, that you're someone who cares for and values themselves, and therefore deserves to be valued too. Being a little more selective, a little more composed, a little more stoic in your approach to relationships can make all the difference in how you are perceived and treated. Limiting access also involves setting clear boundaries and enforcing them consistently. It's about communicating your needs and expectations assertively, without being apologetic or defensive. It's about being willing to say no to things that don't align with your values, even if it means disappointing someone else. In Stoicism, action trumps words. This principle perfectly applies when setting limits. Telling someone your limits is one thing. Demonstrating them through your actions is another. Anyone can say, I won't tolerate being treated badly, but the moment of truth arrives when you actually face that situation. Do you stand firm on your boundaries, or do you let it slide? Your true power lies in the doing, not in the saying. This may not be easy, especially when emotions are involved. However, remember what the Stoics taught us. Everything is under our control, including choosing how we react to situations. If someone crosses a line, your reaction defines your boundaries, not your words. For example, if you've made it clear that you value honesty and someone lies to you, how you handle that situation speaks volumes. Walking away, or addressing the issue directly and calmly, demonstrates that you're serious about your boundaries, that you're not creating drama, but simply respecting yourself and being respected in a way that aligns with your values. This approach is a game changer in relationships. When people see that you have boundaries, that you will not allow them to be crossed, they begin to understand what you will and will not accept. It's about cultivating a sense of self-respect and sticking to it. It's not just about the big things, but also the small, everyday boundaries. It's about how you react when someone cancels plans at the last minute, or how you handle it when someone takes you for granted. Do you communicate, through calm actions and words, that this is not okay? The practice of mindfulness is about being aware of the present moment and how you are reacting to it. Do your actions reflect your limits? Do you stay true to yourself? Being aware of the small moments is where the true test of your limits often lies. As you go about your day, interacting with others, try to be a little more stoic in how you show your limits. It's not about being rigid or inflexible. It's about having that inner compass that guides your actions and reactions. When you start living this way, people realize that they start to see you as someone who not only has boundaries, but respects themselves enough to enforce them. Ultimately, the Stoic path to self-respect and empowering relationships culminates in the willingness to prepare to walk away. Stoicism embraces the concept of detachment, not in a cold or callous sense, but as an understanding of what we can and cannot control. One of the most empowering things we can control is our choice to stay or leave a situation that is not right for us, particularly in relationships. We've all been in situations where everything within us screams, "This is not what I deserve." Yet we stay perhaps out of fear of being alone, fear of change, or clinging to the hope that things will improve. The Stoic twist lies in recognizing that remaining in a situation that compromises our values is within our control, and we can choose differently. This doesn't mean abandoning ship at the first sign of trouble. Relationships require work, commitment, and patience. It means knowing your value so deeply that when something consistently goes against it, you're ready to walk away. It's about having that inner strength, that stoic fortitude, to say, "I value myself enough not to accept less than what I deserve." Being ready to walk away is about self-respect, about not compromising your core values and self-esteem. This doesn't have to be a dramatic exit. Sometimes it's a calm decision, a quiet understanding that this is not for you. The unknown can be terrifying, but remember the Stoic teachings. Face adversity with courage. Accept the unknown as part of the natural flow of life. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is let go of something that isn't serving you. You're not there out of necessity or fear. You are there by choice. When you have the courage to walk away from what does not serve you, you create space for something better. You're trusting that there is something more fulfilling out there for you, and you're giving yourself the chance to find it. Being ready to walk away is not about being cold or distant. It's about loving and respecting yourself enough to say, "I deserve better." The next essential Stoic principle is to focus on actions, not words. Stoicism is about practical wisdom, about judging individuals by their deeds, not simply their pronouncements. The world is rife with charming words and empty promises, especially in the realm of relationships. The Stoics urge us to look beyond the surface, to observe actions, for they reveal the truth. It's easy to say what others want to hear, to make promises and paint a perfect future. But are actions backing up those words? That's where the real story lies. We've all encountered individuals who shower us with compliments and assurances, only to have their actions fall short. They promise to call and don't. They make plans and cancel at the last minute. Yet, their words hold us captive. This is where our inner Stoic needs to emerge. Stoicism teaches us not to be swept away by emotions, but to be rational, to see things as they truly are. If someone's actions are inconsistent with their words, that's a red flag, a signal to pay attention. This approach fundamentally changes how you navigate relationships. Instead of getting lost in romantic gestures and flowery language, you begin to scrutinize the smaller details. How do they act under pressure? Do they follow through on their commitments? Are they there for you, not just in words, but in tangible ways? When you focus on actions, you set a standard, sending a message that says, "I'm not just listening to what you say, I'm watching what you do." People realize that they can't simply charm their way into your life. They have to demonstrate their worth and their intentions. This isn't about becoming cynical or distrusting everyone. It's about being intelligent, about protecting your heart with a layer of Stoic wisdom. It's about not getting carried away by emotions, but about staying grounded in reality. Actions will always speak louder than words. Next to only looking at actions, a crucial tool for any seeker of truth is healthy skepticism. Skepticism and Stoicism go hand in hand. Stoics strive to see things as they truly are, not as they are expected to be. In a world of love and dating, this is particularly relevant. We've all been in situations where someone says all the right things, and we desperately want to believe them, even while red flags wave frantically in the background. Healthy skepticism doesn't mean being negative or cynical. It means having your feet on the ground, not taking everything at face value. It's about observing, questioning, and not jumping in headfirst without careful consideration. You meet someone, and they seem wonderful, saying all the right things, planning a future together. You're skeptical. Stoic side would advise, slow down. Don't rush. Let's see if their actions match their words and how things work out. It's a reality check that reminds you not to get lost in romance. This skepticism isn't about bombarding the other person with questions or doubting their every move. It's about being aware, listening attentively, and observing their behavior over time. It's about taking the time to truly get to know someone, to see if they're coherent and genuine. The Stoics emphasized using logic and reason, not just succumbing to emotions. When we let our emotions take over, we can overlook a multitude of warning signs. When we balance those emotions with skepticism and reason, we give ourselves the opportunity to see things clearly. By being a little skeptical, you're not just jumping into something without being sure, you're giving yourself the space to understand who the other person really is. It's about being smart, being observant, and not getting carried away. It's about taking care of yourself and your heart. It's not about building walls, but about opening doors with caution and wisdom. This cautiousness can be expressed through the power of no. Stoicism strongly emphasizes personal integrity and the courage to stand up for your principles. This directly relates to your ability to say no in relationships. It's about knowing what you stand for and not being afraid to uphold your standards, even if it means rocking the boat. Imagine dating someone who suggests something that doesn't sit well with you, perhaps moving too fast or compromising your values in some way. The easy path is to go along with it. But this is where your inner Stoic needs to assert itself and say no. Saying no is about respecting yourself, your values, and your limits. This is incredibly difficult, especially when you like the person. The voice in the back of your head whispers, "But what if this drives them away?" Stoicism teaches us about courage, not only in facing external challenges, but also in confronting internal ones. Saying no isn't about being difficult. It's about having self-respect, about showing that you value yourself enough to not settle for less than what you deserve. You might lose them, but if saying no to something that violates your values alienates someone, perhaps they weren't the right fit for you anyway. This approach can fundamentally change the dynamic of a relationship. When someone sees that you're not afraid to say no, that you're not just there to please them at the expense of your own values, it shifts their perspective. It shows them that you're someone who has self-respect, and that is a very attractive quality. Refusing something contrary to your values is about setting boundaries with others and being honest with yourself. It's about recognizing what you truly want and not letting the fear of being alone lead you to make decisions that aren't right for you. It's about being true to yourself, about living with integrity, building relationships based on mutual respect and genuine connection. Finally, a Stoic woman never chases. This principle encapsulates everything discussed. Stoicism emphasizes focusing on what is within our control and letting go of what is not. This philosophy is incredibly potent when applied to relationships. It's about understanding that chasing someone who is pulling away is not only futile, but also disrespecting yourself and your own value. Imagine seeing someone and things are going well, but then they start to drift apart. In such a situation, it can be alluring to pursue them to try to close that gap. The Stoics would say, wait, why are you pursuing what is not under your control? What about your dignity, your self-respect, and your peace of mind? Chasing someone who walks away is like trying to catch water in your bare hands. It's ineffective and leaves you feeling empty. The Stoic approach is to stand firm in your own worth. If someone is pulling away, let them. It's not about being cold or insensitive. It's about recognizing that you can't control how another person feels or acts. You can only control how you respond. It takes a lot of strength not to chase, not to give in to that impulse, but it's about trusting that if someone really wants to be with you, they will show up. When you stop chasing, you start focusing on yourself, on your own life, and amazing things happen. You attract people who are attracted to that strength and confidence that you exude. By following this Stoic advice, you're not only cultivating your own inner strength and self-respect, but also transforming the dynamics of your relationships. You are sending a message to the world that you are worthy of respect, that you value yourself, and that you will not settle for less than what you deserve. These are some ways in which you can show your value and recognize that of others, following the advice of Stoicism through actions and not words. Remember that courage is not something that is said, but rather something that is demonstrated with actions. This video has explored a Stoic approach to relationships, emphasizing the importance of actions over words and focusing on what is within our control. The key principles outlined include knowing your value, grounding your self-worth in virtues and actions, not external validation, presenting yourself with dignity, behaving with integrity and self-respect, setting a standard for how others treat you, limiting access, being selective about who gets your time and emotional energy, demonstrating limits through actions, enforcing boundaries consistently, showing that you respect yourself and expect others to do the same, preparing to walk away, being willing to leave situations that compromise your values, focusing on actions, not words, judging people by their deeds, not their promises, employing healthy skepticism, not just swallowing everything one is told, but taking it with a grain of salt and reflecting on the behavior with rational thought. Understanding the power of no. Being able to refuse something that you object and going against your values in return for somebody or something you're not really interested in. Never chasing. Focusing on your own life and worth. Attracting those who genuinely want to be with you. By embracing these Stoic principles, you can become the architect of your own dignity, the custodian of your self-esteem. Let your actions, your choices, and your limits speak of the incredible person you are. These are some of the ways in which you can show your value and recognize that of others, following the advice of Stoicism through actions and not words. Remember that courage is not something that is said, but rather something that is demonstrated with actions. This video has illuminated the path towards self-discovery and personal growth, inspiring viewers to delve deeper into their own experiences and embrace the wisdom of Stoicism.